and welcome to the Overwhelm is Optional podcast with me, your host, Heidi Mark, where we discuss how to make overwhelm optional for you. Hello, how are you? In this week's episode, I want to talk about the importance of pausing to celebrate. So what does celebration mean to you? I think it's really easy to think that celebration has to be a huge occasion, something which requires scheduling and prioritizing and planning and spending money on, and then we don't do it because we just don't get around to it because it's yet another thing to do. It just adds to the overwhelm. So to me, it's really important to pause and celebrate and notice that, because that stops that constantly moving on to what's next, get more stuff done, take on more stuff, get more and more overwhelmed, which means that I'm never actually living the life that I intend to. I'm always living in the future, thinking about how to prevent catastrophe and how to achieve the next goal. So pausing to celebrate is essential for getting out of overwhelm and actually for being happier. And there's research on this. There's research about gratitude and appreciation and taking time to notice the good stuff. So just for a moment, have a think. When was the last time you celebrated? And if it was a celebration arranged, like a formal one arranged by somebody else, and it wasn't really your idea of celebrating, just notice what comes up for you about the general idea of celebration. What does it mean to you? And then just think, what would you really like? So what would be celebrating to you? So if it was all up to you and you wanted to, so you can go both ends of the spectrum. So like, what would be an all out perfect celebration for you? But then go into what would be a really small way to notice the good stuff, to notice those tiny wins. When a conversation at work goes really well, or you get another client, or you get, the sun shining, or, just something starts to go well for you. All those tiny things throughout the day that are worth celebrating. So finding them, looking at them. How could you celebrate those tiny times? What would just be like really easy, really easy. So just see what comes up for you. Because what you really want is really important, isn't it? Because we're all at different stages of our life. So, for example, when my children were tiny, celebrating for me would have been actually having 4 hours sleep uninterrupted. That was like, woohoo! That was a cause for celebration, but it was also a reward for struggling through. So it was both of those things. So that was really important. And also, just being able to go for a pee on your own. That was a huge thing when my children were small. Or having a long hot bath without mummy at the door. And that's not because my children weren't a cause to celebrate for celebration. It's just that when you're in that phase of your life, tiny amounts of space can feel like a reward, a celebration. So what comes up for you? What's really important to you? And just really think about this, really be honest. What would really reward you? And then see if what comes up is, well, I don't have time to celebrate. I haven't really done anything to celebrate. Nothing good is going on. I've been trying to hit this goal for ages and I just don't feel I'm getting any nearer. So there's no point. I'm just going to keep going, head down, go. And I say, hang on a sec. There's always something to celebrate, just as there's always something to be grateful for. And it's essential to make it really easy, really simple, and as near to instantaneous as possible. And then to notice the feeling in the body. So we're using neutral noticing, the mind-body connection, to really enhance the experience of the good stuff. Because what you focus on, you get, right? So if you notice and celebrate the good stuff, you're going to feel happier because you're allowing these tiny wins to fill your body, to notice that, and then you'll get more of it. Because when we focus on the good stuff, we feel happier, we feel more at ease, we notice that actually it's been worth the effort because there's some really good stuff. So I think it's really interesting if you think about buying a house. So buying a house is a big deal. It's really scary because at the time it feels like if you don't get that house, your dreams will be broken. And it's also scary because usually we mortgage ourselves up to the hilt, and then it's like, oh my God, what if? So there's like two things, isn't there? There's the huge dream, and then there's the huge financial pressure. And then we go past that and we celebrate moving in, or not. We get overwhelmed with the process of moving, which is incredibly stressful in general and overwhelming, despite it being a joyous occasion. And then a few years later, we're just overwhelmed with needing to pay for stuff, or needing to mend the house, or do the house up, or wanting to move because it wasn't so we very quickly go back to the stage of overwhelming amount of things to do, to change, to make better, because our mind will always focus on what's wrong. So pausing to celebrate helps correct that cognitive bias. It helps retrain your mind to notice the good stuff, but also you can really use that mind-body connection. So finding one thing right now that you can celebrate. So right now, I can celebrate the fact that I have my house. Yes, I have a mortgage to pay. Yes, it needs a lot of renovating, but it's still my dream house. So the feeling of buying it, the excitement, is still there somewhere. I can still tap into that. I can still remember that, and I can still celebrate that because I'm still in my house. So yes, finding those things, or even something much, much smaller. You know, I don't know, some days it's just nice that your favourite pair of socks is clean and dry and in the drawer, because they're the socks that you needed for your day. You know, like those tiny things, or the traffic light changed to green as you went towards it, or somebody you really like had time to pop in and say hello and smile and ask you how you were. You know, there are lots and lots and lots of tiny things we could celebrate. So pausing to celebrate, and then using the mind-body connection to enhance that. So what you're doing is you're taking tiny, tiny things, and you're using the power of the body-mind connection to kind of like amplify it through every cell in your body, which is really good for you. Should we give it a go? So I'm going to invite you to do a neutral noticing practice with me. So if it's safe and comfortable to do so, I would close your eyes because it's easier, but you don't have to. And it doesn't matter about getting into some special, very straight-backed, fierce position. Just get comfortable. Just do it. So sending all of your attention down to your feet, and feel your feet on the ground. Feel your feet on the ground. Allow your belly to soften if it wants to. And if it doesn't, that's okay. Just notice. Feel your feet on the ground. Softening belly or not. Allow your shoulders to move away from your ears if they want to. And if they don't, just notice that too. Don't try to change anything. Don't try to achieve anything. Just notice. Don't even try to relax. Don't try to calm yourself. Don't try to stop the thinking. So you can notice when your attention's being distracted by external stuff, or most commonly by your mind, with its endless list of things to do, things that can go wrong. Gently but firmly escort all of your attention back into your body. Feel your feet on the ground. Allow your belly to soften or not. And then place your awareness in your heart space, so the centre of your chest. And just bring to mind any tiny thing that you can celebrate. The sun shining, the nice pair of socks on your feet, the lunch in front of you, the fact that you are loved, even if you can't feel that. And just bring to mind something really small. And just notice how that feels in your body. So this is difficult because you have to bring the thing that you want to celebrate to mind. And then your mind is going to get involved with, this is ridiculous, this is far too small, it's not worth celebrating, I'm rubbish at this, I don't feel like doing this. because that's what your mind does. So what you need to do is drop the thing that you're celebrating into your body so that you can feel it without using words. So if I was going to celebrate, for example, there was a beautiful sunrise this morning. I can see the sunrise, and then I can feel in my body. And we usually start, excuse me, with the heart space, the centre of the chest, because for most of us, that's a common place to feel a fullness, an expansion, a buzziness around good stuff. But without labelling it as joy, without labelling it as happiness, because it's easier to just notice physical sensations of celebration, of gratitude, of appreciation. So waking up on a dark November morning to a beautiful sunrise, for me, is a huge cause for celebration. And even at my most difficult time, I would have noticed this and thought it was beautiful, but then gone back to and I need to do this now. So this is just pausing. Notice the good stuff. Pause to celebrate. Drop into your body. Feel the physical sensations of whatever it is. Get curious. See if you can allow those physical sensations to do with celebrating to permeate through your body. So really feel it, really embody it. And then when you're ready, open your eyes. And just wait a few seconds. So pause again to allow your nervous system to reset. And then get on with your day. So that was a bit longer than you would need to do. So if you're going to do this, I would do it every day for 30 days and see what happens. And then let me know, because I'd love to know. So yeah, just throughout your day, pausing to notice the good stuff and then actually celebrating it by, on purpose, practicing neutral noticing. Feel your feet on the ground, allow your belly to soften, dropping into your body and noticing physical sensations to do with what you're celebrating. So basically really celebrating. And then if you can, really allowing that to come out in a physical way. So if we're on our own, or sometimes with other people, it depends on the situation, doesn't it? But punching the air is a physical manifestation of celebrating. So feeling that as you do it. So sometimes it's kind of like you don't mean to do it, but as you do it, notice that your body gets more expansive and energized when you celebrate. So we talk about jumping for joy. I was jumping for joy, but were you, or was it like inside you were jumping for joy? Because it's not always culturally acceptable to punch the air or jump for joy, or get up and have a bounce or a twirl, or run around screaming, yes! It would be really good if it was, because I think there'd be more joy, and I think we spend too much time sat in front of screens very, very still. So just notice if your body wants to move more, and then just get really into the idea that every day there's something to celebrate, but it's up to you to find it, even on the worst days, especially on the worst days. No, not especially. I mean, it's helpful on the worst days, but especially on the good days as well, like especially all the time. Just make it an intentional month of every day I'm going to find something to celebrate, and then allow that to be physical. So get out of the judgments of the mind of not having time to celebrate, or it not really being worth celebrating or whatever. Because do you know what? You're alive. And right now, if you're alive, you're surviving a pandemic. And we should all be celebrating with that. Really, seriously, we're surviving a pandemic. That's a big deal. And even if there wasn't a pandemic, you're alive. Celebrate that. Celebrate you if you can. Although in my membership, people found this really, really difficult to celebrate themselves, which is why this month we are doing Pause to Celebrate instead, because it's a slightly different take on it, but it's also tinier. And I think really we all need tiny steps, because tiny steps are easier. So yeah, give it a go. Let me know how you get on and enjoy. Thanks for listening.